there that wants to preserve older buildings.
Brigham Young University is selling the Amanda Knight Hall building, which is almost 100 years old.
Birth control is becoming available to women in Utah without a prescription.
The landscape for drone usage keeps changing.
And the Provo Police Department is using drones to fight crime. Welcome to Newsline. It's March 28th, 2019. I'm Amy Hamilton.
And I'm Erin Klein. Provo City is now flying drones to help different city departments, and they're getting into places that police and firefighters can't.
Newsline reporter Danny Hallows joins us now. Danny, when did Provo start using drones?
Yeah, the Provo drone unit has been around for just less than a year, but they're doing everything from mapping out construction zones, helping with search and rescues, solving crimes with the police, and what they're doing is flying around. Shiny iPads, remote controls, walkie-talkies. It's not your typical desk job. But the Provo drone unit does more than just fly drones to get video of the city.
Opens kind of a new realm.
The unit is actually helping the police department solve crimes.
We're trying to use our imagination and come up with ideas.
Their most recent work was with the Los Hermanos fire.
They would have liked us to actually have flown inside the building because they didn't want to put somebody inside the building. They were afraid it wasn't structurally sound enough. But our piloting skills weren't quite sound enough either, so we didn't go in.
The drone unit started from an innovator fund that Mayor Kafusi directed towards the city mapping department. The GIS specialists were then trained, certified with the Federal Aviation Administration, and then started flying. But there's just one problem with using drones.
The landscape for drone usage keeps changing. It's evolving over time.
With controls, the flyers can map out patterns for the drone, but because of the landscape constantly changing,
So a no-fly zone that might exist today perhaps didn't exist last week.
the drones can actually move up to 45 miles per hour, and with all the work that the flyers are doing, they won't be landing anytime soon. If you'd like to see more of the drone unit's work, you just go to drone.provo.org. Reporting in Provo, I'm Danny Hallows.
Thanks, Danny. A 6-year-old girl has died after being hit by an SUV. Annie Gonzalez was riding an electric scooter when she was struck by the SUV. The tragic accident occurred in a neighborhood near Vineyard Elementary School yesterday afternoon. She suffered extensive trauma to her head and upper body. Investigators do not believe negligence, recklessness, or impairment were factors in the incident, and officials said no additional charges will be filed based on current information. A 6-year-old is in critical condition after being hit by a car in South Salt Lake. The child was with her father waiting for his car to be fixed at a business area near Southwest Temple. Once his truck was ready, the child ran across an alleyway to get in her father's truck and was hit by a car. The girl was rushed to the hospital in critical condition and is expected to be okay.
2 people are dead and 1 person is in critical condition after a car accident on State Road 201. 2 people in a white Subaru were heading north on 9120 West when a gold Nissan Pathfinder with a single male occupant T-boned the Subaru. Both the passenger and the driver in the Subaru were pronounced dead on the scene. The driver of the Nissan was transported in serious condition to Intermountain Medical Center in Murray. Authorities do not know if either driver was under the influence of alcohol. A 70-year-old man is charged with 25 counts of sexual abuse and object rape of a child. David Allen Williams was arrested in his home in West Valley yesterday. The charges in this case came from incidents involving 7 children over a 14-year period from 1983 through 1997. Police received a report in October of last year regarding the sexual abuse of one of the victims. Their investigation found 6 more, and police suspect there may be even more victims that have yet to come forward.
2 dogs involved in an incident where a 4-year-old boy had his hand bitten off were surrendered to Davis County Animal Care and Control. The dogs were both quarantined after the incident on March 3rd. Initially, the owner of the 2 huskies were cited with possession of dangerous animals and abatement of public nuisance animals. However, the charges against their owner will be dropped. A petition was started to save the lives of the dogs in question after news of the incident spread.
Homeowners in Layton are reporting mail theft. Neighborhoods around Hillfield Road, Antelope Drive, and Gentile King Street have been the primary targets for the theft. Police and the Postal Service are teaming up to find out who is responsible. Layton police have given a few tips to help keep mail safe, suggesting to remove mail daily, switch to paperless billing, put a hold on mail when out of town, and report any suspicious behavior immediately.
According to the sign outside the Amanda Knight Hall building, it's on the market. Newsline reporter Paige Johnson found out what Brigham Young University is doing with the historic building. Paige, why is this building so important?
The Amanda Knight Hall building is one of BYU's oldest buildings, but BYU won't be owning it for much longer.
Amanda Knight Hall building was built 80 years ago, in 1939. It was originally used as a dormitory for 90 female students. It was later repurposed as housing for the Language Training Center and has been used by the MTC following that. However, the Amanda Knight Hall building that is sitting on the corner of 800 and University is no longer being used for anything.
Last use for actual departments has been, I think, several years ago since someone was actually actively using the building.
In 2002, BYU attempted to tear down the Amanda Knight Hall building, but couldn't because it was registered as a Provo landmark.
There's just a community out there that wants to preserve older buildings.
This past June, BYU announced its renewed plan to tear down the building.
When we got to the point where the Amanda Knight Hall, we knew we had to do something with it. We came forward with a proposal of building a replica of the building, knowing that we couldn't renovate it and make it still usable space. But we noticed that plan wasn't necessarily popular with some people in the community. And
due to the pushback from the community, BYU decided to put the Amanda Knight Hall building on the market for someone else to renew or renovate. Once the building is bought, BYU will no longer have a say on what happens to the building.
We posted it for sale. It was a desire to have them work with the City Landmarks Commission for preservation.
The building is no longer listed on the market. They are currently working with potential buyers to finalize the deal. The estimated cost of renovations is about $10 million, according to the university.
Nothing has been finalized and the end date is still unknown, but they are working as quickly as they can to get this done. This is Paige Johnson reporting live in Provo.
Thanks, Paige. The Utah Coalition Against Sexual Assault is holding their 6th annual sexual violence conference today. The conference is being held at the Jordan Commons Megaplex in Sandy. The coalition seeks to provide a productive learning environment for handling issues related to sexual violence, reporting crimes, and providing aid to victims. This conference will focus on introducing new perspectives on the challenges victims face through therapeutic means, crisis intervention, and criminal justice responses.
Women in Utah will no longer need a prescription for purchasing birth control. Yesterday, Executive Director of the State Health Department issued a statewide standing order. This order allows women 18 years or older to purchase birth control without a prescription. It will be available at any pharmacy where pharmacists have been through a required 5-hour training. Officials are hoping that removing the requirement for a prescription will reduce the cost for women in their family planning. Since the end of the legislature, Governor Gary Herbert has been busy signing a slew of bills. A few notable bills he signed on Wednesday include House Bill 57, which address the privacy of electronic information, House Bill 243, that allows abuse victims to carry concealed weapons without a permit, and House Bill 433, which modifies provisions relating to the Utah Inland Port Authority. Governor Herbert signed a total of 92 bills on Wednesday.
A BYU professor is going from the classroom to the courtroom. Professor Stephanie Barclay of BYU Law School will serve as a clerk for the Supreme Court. Barclay will be joining Justice Neil Gorsuch during the 2021 term. Barclay joined BYU Law last year after working for the Beckett Fund for Religious Liberty. In her teaching debut, her second and third year law students voted her Professor of the Year. Barclay says she is excited to be exposed to new ideas and perspectives about a range of legal issues while working with the Supreme Court. The Utah State Board of Regents will hold a public hearing this afternoon to discuss the cost of tuition at state colleges and universities. The hearing will be held at the Salt Lake Community College Miller campus today after each of the institutions proposed their tuition adjustments for the 2019 to 2020 academic year. According to the Utah System of Higher Education, tuition rates at Utah's public colleges and universities are among the lowest in the nation.
Communities all throughout Utah are gearing up for the 150th anniversary of the Golden Spike ceremony, which marked the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad. NewsLine reporter Ty Mullen shows us what Utah County is doing to mark the iconic and life-altering event.
The 150th anniversary of the Golden Spike is just over a month away, but celebrations are already underway. As part of the statewide celebration, University Mall has partnered with Ophir Tintic and Western Train Club to set up this display here in the mall.
They're awesome.
The model train show features several different models of trains which chug along tracks through valleys, mountains, and small towns.
Every once in a while, I'll give somebody a throttle. Say, have fun. And that's half the fun of it, though, you know. Let the kids run and they can have fun.
Here at Brigham Young University, students can take part in the festivities by visiting the first floor of the Harold B. Lee Library. where an exhibit titled Since the Golden Spike, 150 Years of Utah Railroad History shows how railroads have pushed Utah from the desert valley the early pioneers founded to what it is today. Library curator Ryan Lee and his team have been working on the exhibit part-time for the past 5 years.
I see it as probably the most important event in 19th century U.S. history, as well as one of the most important events of 19th century Utah history. And so, yeah, I think it needed to be celebrated.
For more information on Spike 150 and celebrations taking place in your area this month, visit spike150.org. This is Ty Mullen reporting for NewsLine.
A Wisconsin man wins the third biggest Powerball prize in history.
Grab those tickets, let's go.
We'll tell you how much the big winner is taking home.
For me, the biggest surprise was that we could see this effect in such a short time.
A new behavior experiment reveals how to improve happiness, what experts say could boost your mood in just 12 minutes.
These teams again will be competing for $13,000.
Engineering students showed off their inventions in a competition with huge stakes. We'll show you how the competition unfolded and who won.
It's raining, it's pouring. The old man won't be snoring. Not with what came out of the sky in Texas. We'll tell you what it was and the damage it caused.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. How does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Two people are dead after authorities say a man opened fire on several vehicles in Seattle yesterday afternoon. Seattle police say all started during rush hour when the suspect approached a car and shot the woman who was driving it. They then turned on a Metro bus and opened fire, hitting and injuring the driver. The shooter then approached yet another car.
He goes up and opens the door and the gun shoots the driver. I don't know if he hit the driver or not, but he shot the gun right in there at point blank range.
The man driving the car was killed, and the suspect fled in his victim's vehicle, where he then collided with another car and killed the other driver in a crash. The suspect is now in police custody, and the first victim, the woman, is now stable.
The man convicted for a deadly 2017 car attack during a white nationalist rally will now spend the rest of his life behind bars. James Alex Fields pleaded guilty to 29 federal hate crimes yesterday. Fields drove his Dodge Challenger into a crowd of protesters during a rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, nearly 2 years ago. More than 24 protesters were injured.
The Wisconsin man police say killed 2 people, then kidnapped their daughter, appeared before a judge, and pled guilty.
A Class A felony, and upon conviction shall be sentenced to imprisonment of life. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
The man accused of kidnapping 13-year-old Jamie Kloss and murdering her parents nearly 6 months ago faced a Barron County, Wisconsin judge Wednesday. 21-year-old Jake Patterson was charged with 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide and 1 count of kidnapping without consent. Patterson's sentencing is scheduled for May 24th.
A winning Powerball ticket was sold in Wisconsin. One lucky person matched all 6 numbers. The jackpot is just over $768 million, with a cash option of $477 million. This is the 3rd biggest prize in U.S. lottery history. The biggest jackpot was $1.5 billion in 2016. The next drawing is Saturday, with the jackpot resetting to $40 million.
Do you feel blue? If so, try saying nice things to people. Not only can your kind words cheer others up, you yourself might also feel better. Stephanie Engelson reports.
Is this the one with all the extra steak? Yep. All right, perfect.
Happiness. Everyone wants it, but do any of us really, truly know how to get it?
People walk around being so anxious a lot of the time, and we come up with lots of strategies for how to work with that. The problem is all of our best strategizing is what got us into this problem in the first place.
Dr. Gentile and his team of researchers set out to see if some simple behaviors could really change your mood. They enlisted the help of 500 ISU students and asked them each to walk around the halls of buildings for 12 minutes. But there was more to this, a little homework, if you will. They each had to do something extra while they walked.
We gave them randomly assigned one of these conditions. They either went out and they wished other people well, thought about how they were connected to each other, thought about how they might be better off than others, or just looked at fashions.
When the students checked back in, they had some surprising results. The students who wished other people well felt better, a lot better.
For me, the biggest surprise was that we could see this effect in such a short time, just 10 or 12 minutes of walking around doing this. Changed their mood, lessened their anxiety, improved their sense of social connection.
Could it really be this simple? Dr. Gentile says yes, it is that simple. The better question may be, will it be easy for people to put into action? Perhaps not.
Because it's so easy for us to be caught by our own thoughts, jump on that train of thought and ride it wherever it's going, rather than actually paying attention to the people around us. And this is one of the benefits of a mindfulness practice of whatever type, is it helps kind of make you realize, oh, I'm just trapped thinking, let me break out and pay attention to what's really around me. What am I really doing in this moment?
But don't let that discourage you. While it may take effort at first, Dr. Gentile says this is one quick fix you can believe in, and you may be on your way to more happiness in just 12 minutes.
Participants in the final Student Innovator of the Year competition are making their inventions a reality. Taylor Osler has more on the inventions presented. Taylor, what products can we expect to see on the market?
Students created a wide range of products that include wireless sprinkler systems, plastic bags made out of shrimp shells, and even a disposable toilet brush. Some products will be released this year.
These are the best and the brightest that BYU has to offer.
The engineering school puts on the Student Innovator of the Year competition, where students create and pitch ideas for innovations they have.
Anybody that has ideas that want to build a product, they can come to us to get about $400 for funding to start their prototypes.
Judges evaluate the products based on their impact, their engineering, and most importantly, their innovation. Participants present their innovations for 7 minutes, followed by 3 minutes of questions from the judges.
7 student innovators competed in the final competition to win $13,000 funded by donors and previous students of the program.
Sugarhouse Aerospace took first place, winning $7,000 to go towards sending rockets to space. They hope space will be more accessible to everyone with new and more affordable rockets.
So we're trying to make space accessible to eventually the consumer, but right now we're focusing on universities and K-12s, allowing students to be able to build space technology and put it in space.
For as low as $1,000, people can send something into space. The company plans to send their first rocket on May 18th this year. Another competitor, Neptune, took second place by creating something that would help the environment.
Everyone uses plastic every day. You use it once, you throw it away, it stays in the earth for 1,000 years.
They created biodegradable bags from shrimp shells. The bags last 5 days in the environment and act as a fertilizer for soil. They hope to perfect the process this summer so that the bags can be found in all grocery stores.
The competition is over, but that doesn't mean that innovation stops. 3D printers and other resources are available to any students who want to start making prototypes of their ideas. Reporting live in Provo, I'm Taylor Osler.
the size of golf balls and baseballs pummeled homes in Texas. The balls of ice hit cars, homes, and, well, even swimming pools, shattering windows in kitchens and windshields. So much came down, some people thought it was a snowstorm. The hail only fell for about 15 minutes, but the damage was done. While no injuries were reported, residents now hope to talk with their insurance companies and start the process on repairs. Meanwhile, here in Utah, we are going to be looking at a little bit of rainfall or precipitation ourselves. Temperatures are going to be fairly consistent. This green that we're seeing right there is about 40 degrees, and even that yellow coming in is going to be about 60 degrees as things turn out. But going to that rain, this is Utah right here. That green is the precipitation coming in. You'll actually see some of it turn to blue, which means that is snow. So while there isn't going to be a lot of snow tonight in some of the chillier areas in Utah, you may actually have some snowfall that will be around in the morning. So keep that in mind if you're driving down from the canyons. As we look at our highs for the day, we'll actually see Salt Lake's at about a 50, Provo's at a 56, St. George's at a 71, the lowest being Logan at a 51. So overall, very good spring temperatures across the board. As we go to our lows for the day, we'll actually see that Salt Lake City's at a 38, Provo's at a 38, which is about 10 degrees colder than it was yesterday. Richfield's the only one who drops below freezing at 31, and St. George is at 44. So overall, fairly consistent temperatures. There'll be a couple areas that will be dropping kind of low. Think of that snow. As we go to southern Utah, we'll actually see that they're looking at sunshine all through the weekend, which is a good thing, with clouds just kind of coming in towards the end. You'll see into Monday and Tuesday of next week. And so do keep that in mind that it's going to be great. So get out and take advantage of it. As we go to our northern Utah forecast, we'll see that it's a bit of intermittent cloud cover and sunshine with a little bit of rain coming in early next week. So do keep that in mind that it is going to be beautiful. And so, yeah, you guys got any plans for the weekend?
I don't know, but I'm wanting to go down to southern Utah. It's looking amazing.
Yeah,
Southern
absolutely.
Utah.
Summer is already there.
I just want to go take a picnic somewhere, be outside, be nice outside. So Paul, what's going on with BYU sports?
Well, I'm just glad the weather's nice because it's been a rough week for BYU sports. First of all, Dave Rose retired, and now Yoli Childs announced he'll declare for the NBA draft and leave BYU. I'll tell you what this means for the Cougars next season. Also, the Jazz kept their winning streak alive in a blowout of the Lakers last night. Find out what made the game so special for one Jazzman.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
BYU junior Yoli Childs announced he plans on foregoing his senior season to declare for the NBA draft this summer. Childs led BYU in both scoring and rebounding last season, scoring 21.2 points and grabbing 9.7 rebounds per game. Yoli will be the third straight leading scorer to leave the Cougars early to pursue a professional career, following in the footsteps of Elijah Bryant last season and Eric Minka the year before. The Jazz earned their third straight win in a 115-110 blowout of the Lakers last night.
Rondo blocked by Gobert, picked up by Rubio. That's his third rejection. Rubio alley-up to Mitchell.
Rudy Gobert scored 22 points while grabbing 11 rebounds and blocking 3 shots to lead the Jazz to their 8th win in their last 9 games. It was also a special night for Joe Ingles. Joe finished just 1 rebound shy of a triple-double as the Jazz community celebrated Autism Awareness Night. The win lifted the Jazz to 45-30 on the season, good for 5th place in the Western Conference standings.
Booker diving down the lane.
Just 2 nights after dropping 59 on the Jazz, Devin Booker did it again last night. The Suns star became the youngest player in NBA history to score 50 points in back-to-back games, beating out the likes of James Harden, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant. Despite Booker's achievements, the Suns still sit in last place in the Western Conference standings at 17-59 on the year. The wait is finally over for baseball fans as all 30 Major League teams will be in action today for MLB's opening day.
High fly ball. This one is way back. Kiss it goodbye deep into the night. The Red Sox walk it off.
Coming off their 2018 World Series win, the Boston Red Sox will take on the Seattle Mariners in the third game of an ESPN tripleheader this afternoon. Experts' power rankings have the Red Sox, Astros, Yankees, and Dodgers as the top teams to watch for this season. As the pros get their season started, the BYU baseball team will look to keep their hot streak going in a homestand against St. Mary's this weekend. The Cougars have won 5 straight games and currently sit at 18-5 on the season, while the Gales currently hold the #1 spot in the West Coast Conference standings after sweeping Pacific last week. Today's game is set for 6 p.m. at Miller Field. The baseball team won't be the only Cougars in action today, as the men's volleyball team travels to California to take on 2 conference opponents this weekend. The number 10 ranked Cougars will face off against Concordia this evening and the number 8 ranked USC Trojans on Saturday. We'll be right back.
Truth is, I'm impressed. I haven't been asked such intelligent questions in a long time. Nice.
These are cool. Did you, what did you...
What? A member of the Denver Sheriff Department is about to get some well-deserved R&R.
Taylor, a bomb-sniffing dog, turns 9 in May and is going into retirement. Her fellow officers treated her to a farewell ceremony yesterday. The Chocolate Lab has gained a statewide reputation for her explosive detection skills. Tay-Tay, as Taylor is also known, has been a feature at local community events and kids love her. Her handlers say Taylor has been a great partner, but it's time for her to kick back and relax.
Wow, how sweet.
I know, didn't know that dogs retired at 9.
They do age faster than us. Well, thanks for joining us today for Newsline.
To hear more about our stories, go to our website.